Water is one of the basic needs of the living things. It is considered as one of the important things that all of the living things need in order to stay alive and stay healthy. Unfortunately, in this industrialization era, many sources of water had been polluted with the unwanted substance. These are danger to the human and living things as a whole because we might get the disease from the polluted water. The substance such as oil spillage, industrial waste, and toxic chemical and also heavy metal are among the example of the water pollutant substance. It is because many activities from the human such as deforestation, factory waste, and so on will be lead to the pollution of the water. According to World Health Organization, water pollution can be defined as any inclusion of any foreign material either from natural or other sources into a water body, thereby changing the natural qualities of the water, making it unusable for its intended purpose. The World Health Organization reports that 80% diseases are waterborne. Industrialization, discharge of domestic waste, radioactive material, growth, excessive use of pesticide, fertilizers, and leakage from water tank are major of the source of pollution.
We move to the first issue, which is the first issue is about the Sungai Kim Kim, which is the chemical waste contamination from Sungai Kim Kim 2019 is an incident water pollution that occurred on 7 March 2019 due to the chemical waste disposal in Sungai Kim Kim in Pasir Gudang, Johor, Malaysia. Actually, this is where does this come from? Actually, this come from the toxic fumes were emitted by the unlawful evacuation that affecting almost 6,000 persons and 2,772 seeking the treatment. Okay, and this is actually lead some student and also canteen staff from 2 schools along the river to get sick and complain of the respiratory problem. Okay, during 11 March, a second wave of water poisoning took effect with 106 and also 207 more victims being hospitalized before rising to more than 1,000 victims, with 8 being admitted to ICU. So actually, what can I see from the issue is actually in Sungai Kim Kim happened due to the waste of toxic that come from the factory actually and affect to the student, also the people who are nearest at the factory itself. One of the causes that happen in the Sungai Kim Kim is because of the chemical waste, heavy metals such as lead, cadmium, and mercury. As we all know, the cases of Sungai Kim Kim river, the investigation team has identified the traces of these substances where the chemicals were illegally disposed of as marine oil that release flammable methane gas and fumes of the benzene. This waste is a waste that because of its hazardous nature is intended as the community that needs to be adequately disposed of, thereby being one of the sources of a very dangerous disaster. This has happened because of a tanker truck is thought to be spilling 20 to 40 tons of toxic waste into the river Kim Kim from an illegal tire recycling facility. We move to the first effect. The first effect issue of the Sungai Kim Kim is human health in Pasir Gudang, this is happened because of the river contamination due to the illegal dumping as the toxic chemical waste in the Kim Kim River. Okay, as we all know, during 7 March 2019, with subsequent cases of human health such as trouble breathing, dizziness, nausea, and vomiting among school kids in particular. As we all know, according to the Borneo Post online during March 15, 2019, chemical contamination that infected more than 2,000 individuals and caused the closure of 111 schools in Pasir Gudang is suspected to be attributed to the toxic waste dumped on March 7, 2019 into the Kim Kim River. Next, the second effect is no follow-up from the government. It is because the government appear when the issue become bigger, such as Sungai Kim Kim. That's why the government just appear when they have the big issue. So the government need give more improvement in their department so that they can control and can manage the environment in our country. Move to the step to overcome. What step to overcome the Sungai Kim Kim or the Kim Kim River itself? Okay, it is recommended that scientific evidence monitoring finding should be taken very carefully and that supervisory authority should collaborate for the good of the broader community through this researcher. Actually, all these sites accused of unlawfully injecting chemical waste into our water should be regulated closely and pollutant prosecuted. Okay, it is also highly advised that the pollution reimbursement theory be completely enforced in all respect in Malaysia as soon as empirical proof of dangerous chemical pollution is detected in our river. This idea is a wisely recognized practice that in order to minimize the harm to human health or ecosystem health so that it can when we do this thing it can the expenses of we can handle it. We can handle it more wisely. Okay, the next one, the complaint from the public should be taken into the serious consideration for further action by the Malaysian Department of Environment, which is DOE itself. This is important. It is because to avoid the repetition of the same environmental disaster at Kim Kim River pollution, in order DOE Department of Environment identify the polluted river in Malaysia. Perhaps from this issue, is be the main lesson to be learned.
Hello, I am Afiq bin Sheikh Mohsen and I will be present on the Langat River water pollution issue. Langat River is considered as one of the major river basin in Selangor because it is also covering Selangor by 78%, Negeri Sembilan by 19% and Putrajaya and Kuala Lumpur by 3%. Water pollution in Langat River is because of the factories along the river. Because due to the ammonia pollution, because the level of the water in the river was at the lowest point. Even though Langat River is the main source of the drinking water, the pollution of the river is because of the wastage and toxic waste from the factory nearby still happening. Chemical from the agricultural activities and urbanization highly contributed to the bisphenol A and asbestos pollution respectively in the Langat River. Most of the industrial discharge waste is from the food and beverages industry. The sewage discharge is about 6,495 ton per day. According to National Water Services Commission, the discharge of the industrial effluents waste of the poultry farm and also sand mining in the river were contributed seriously to the increase of the level of the pollution, especially ammonia. What makes it worsening is the water treatment plants near the river needed to be shut down. According to the Star, there are 8 cases of river pollution in Langat River that makes the Langat River water treatment near the Langat River need to be shut down and affecting more than million customers in Hulu Langat, Kuala Langat, Petaling Jaya and Sepang. The high levels of ammonia, the water treatment plant had to be closed for cleaning up thoroughly. The water from this river is not only affected to the people for the domestic use, but also to be used in the agricultural activities. Because of this, people and business who are dealing with the agriculture also affect because of this pollution. The water that might be used to water the plant might be danger to the people who are consumed after it was selling to the consumer. Because of this, many people and public are being exposed and getting high risk of chemical contaminated drinking water. The chemical in the water can lead to many deadly diseases such as cancer. Not only that, animal also being fed by the contaminated water with the elevated heavy metal. Human also feed the animals such as chicken, cow, fish and so on. This will come back later to the human when we are eating this chemical exposed animal. Environmental Quality Report of Department of the Environment since 1997 till 2013 addressed that the river possesses the status of class 3, which required extensive treatment before drinking. The strategies and also the steps to overcome had been established in order to ensure that the problems can be solved immediately. Some of them is through the scientific and also the social researchers very urgent requirement to know the prevalence of the hazardous chemical in the Langat River, as well as in the drinking water to examine the health status of the population. Not only that, the proper and up-to-date had to fix the chemical using the guideline along the river basin should be formulated in order to reduce the contamination of the river along with the awareness raising activities. The authorities also should be monitoring strictly on the industrial and sewage discharge into the river in order to control the discharge without treatment as source in the different state. One of the program established by the Department of Environment is through the River Pollution Prevention and Water Quality Improvement Program. This program is started in 2001 through the 8th Malaysian Plan. Not only that, the program is the continuous programs until 10th Malaysian Plan. Besides the Department of Environment, this program also had cooperation with the Ministry of Health, Lembaga Urus Air Selangor, and also Badan Kawal Selia Air in Negeri Sembilan, also monitoring the water quality of this river. The Environmental Quality Act 1974 should be strengthened its policy and act in order to ensure that the pollution in these countries can be reduced for the sake of safe environment. Thank you.
I am Umi Nur Najwa binti Syamsuddin. Okay, I will proceed with the issue at Sungai Malagatan. Malagatan River is a river located in the small district of Tongot, Sandakan, Sabah. This river has been reported polluted as a result of dumping chemical waste into the river. This chemical waste disposal has been carried out by nearby factories and oil palm plantation. The pollution of the river was witnessed by the chairman of the Village Community Management Council, MPKK, and he also a resident at there, that is Clarence Jacob. Unfortunately, the chemical waste has indirectly polluted that river. The issue of dumping chemical waste into the river has become a habit for some factories because this is seen as easy and fast. Apart from the chemical waste disposal by the factory, there is also garbage disposal into the river. This action is said have been done by the plantation worker and oil palm mills nearby the Malagatan River. Residents had found that the solid waste spills in several tributary areas in which it was entered and scattered into the river. This is also causes Malagatan River polluted. Other than that, the water pollution that occurs in the Malagatan River will definitely affect the river water, aquatic life, and also the nearby resident. However, the water of Malagatan River turn black and smell. Water pollution in this river causes aquatic life to lose their habitat and thus affect the life. Nearby villages are also affected as Malagatan River are the sources of daily use such as bathe, cooking, and so on. The water treatment plant has been closed due to pollution from the chemical waste and garbage in the river. Because of that, villagers have difficulty getting the water supply that processed from the river. Residents had to use the river water because they had no other choice. After using the river water, they found their body feel itchy, sticky, and oily. The river water is also used for cooking because there are no other water sources. This is clearly endangering the health of the villagers who have to use Sungai Malagatan water even though it is already polluted. Step to overcome water pollution at Malagatan River is by relying on the license of the factory, which is the sources of pollution. The Ministry of Environment and Water through the Sabah Department of Environment, JAS, has suspended the oil palm factory license for a month because it is the causes of the dumping of chemical waste and garbage into the river. They were also instructed to do cleaning in the flow of influent from the estate irrigation area to the Malagatan River. However, just continue to monitor and the cleaning and improvement that have been directed to the factory.
My name is Nurul Ashki binti Muhammad Niza. Okay, I will discuss on the issue of Sungai Selangor. Okay, the causes of the water pollution occur in Sungai Selangor. As we know, in 2020, Selangor had faced 7 times of water pollution in their area. It started on early of 2020, and even our government announced the movement control order around Malaysia, but there are still a group of people that doing illegal activities, which are throwing all the toxic chemical into the river from their factory. The first incident happened on 17 March when a few water treatment are forced to be stopped from being operated because the water pollution had happened in Sungai Selangor. Okay, it is because of the incident that happened in Sungai Rawang, which is one of the factory that produced a heavy machinery, had released their oil waste into the river. By having the water pollution in Sungai Selangor, it had given some effect to the society that reside at that particular area. Water shortage happened around Selangor due to the water pollution that happened in Sungai Selangor. As we know, water is very important to our daily life, and water pollution in Sungai Selangor had affected the main water treatment plant, which is LRA Sungai Selangor, and it had forced to be stopped from operating due to the pollution. So the society in Selangor did not get enough clean water sources for their daily use. Okay, they had hard to find the clean water supply to continue their life. Water pollution in Selangor is a serious issue in our country because it had occurred around 2020, and it hard to find a solution for Selangor because the pollution had occurred from time to time. So the pollution are not being successful to control by the government and by the Department of Environment. The authority should take action against to those who had made the illegal activities toward the water pollution in Sungai Selangor. The state government also should find a solution on this issue and brought it to the further discussion because it had give burden to the society to continue their life. The punishment should be imposed to the person who had made this pollution, and the government should take it in a serious way. Next, on the issue of oil spill at Tanjung Tuan, Melaka. Okay, this issue had occurred on 12 October 2020. Okay, the Malaysian Maritime Enforcement Agency, Melaka and Negeri Sembilan, had detected that there is an oil spill in the water of Tanjung Tuan, Prodiksen Negeri Sembilan. As the patrol that will be carried out, they detected that there was an oil spill in the water, and the oil spill had headed towards the nearby Pulau Perdi. They also found that oil spill as well from the Tanjung Tuan to Teluk Kemang. This is they believe that the oil spill come from the ship or from the boat that nearby to that location. Next day, the Department of Environment had come to make investigate of this issue. This is they assume that the oil spill come from the ship that around the place, and the Environment of Department also took a sample from the oil spill for the further investigation. Then a few days later, they confirmed that the oil spill was same as the oil spill in Tanjung Tuan. So, as we know, Pantai Cermin is located near to Tanjung Tuan. So, Pantai Cermin is one of the place that the tourists love to go for the recreation activity. So the Pantai Cermin need to be closed due to the oil spill that happened in the Tanjung Tuan. The action that being taken by the Department of Environment in Melaka and Negeri Sembilan are to instruct the area that involved with the pollution to be quickly cleaned, and the Marine Department of Malaysia, the Malaysia Maritime, the Civil Defence Force, the Fishery Department, the Forestry Department, and the National Security Council also give a good cooperation on this issue. The sample of oil spill that taken had been sent to the Department of Chemistry Malaysia to identify the composition of the waste. Irene Nizam Noriza, Melaka and Negeri Sembilan Maritime Operation Officer, had reported that Maritime Air Unit would use the helicopter to monitor the exact situation of this pollution, because for them, if you're using the drone, it will be unclear to see the oil spill, and the cleaning process also will be take a long time according to the weather, and it takes about 2 weeks. So the effort that being taken by the Marine Department of Malaysia is they will investigate of a few ship that might involve in this issue.
Okay, in the conclusion, water pollution has caused the water quality not to meet set of standard. Therefore, the various measures need to be taken so that the water quality is preserved. Strict legal action is necessary in order to preserve this heritage for the future generation. As mentioned earlier, water pollution occurs due to the natural processes, but most of the pollution actually is occurs due to the human activity itself. That is why the legal management of the environment based on the Environmental Quality Act 1974 need to preserve and conserve the environment. Therefore, the beauty and natural resources available today need to be taken care of to ensure that the future generation can enjoy it as well.